Aliens may have arrived on Earth long before we ever imagined. They've mingled with our ancestors, leaving behind a cryptic legacy just waiting to be uncovered.
So this one here, we call the UFO glyph, and people have called that since they've been coming here, because it kind of looks like a UFO.
It definitely has the classic UFO shape.
Join us as scientists have finally cracked the codes hidden by extraterrestrials.
All Native American tribes have these traditional oral histories that people came from the stars to visit them to provide knowledge.
Revealing secrets that could change everything we thought we knew about our past.
In many ways, these Wandjina figures look exactly like gray aliens.
Now we all know about crop circles, these strange shapes that mysteriously appear in the middle of fields. But this particular crop circle will blow your mind. This was found back in 2002 in Winchester, England in a wheat field. Now you tell me what this looks like. Yep, that's a classic alien gray. Oh, but that's not even the craziest part. You see that disc at the bottom right of the image? Yeah, it turns out that thing has binary code written all over it, a computer language containing ones and zeros, and it has a strange message for all of us.
There's good out there. We oppose deceivers. Conduit closing.
Now it's anyone's guess what all this means, but one thing's for sure, crop circles might just be messages from outer space. Gosford glyphs.
So this one here, we call the UFO glyph, and people have called that since...
Okay, so even though we're pretty good at figuring out old writing, there's still tons we don't get. Like, check out these weird symbols in Australia called the Gosford glyphs. No one really knows what they mean, which is already super strange. But one symbol looks exactly like a flying saucer with beams shooting out. Some people think it's just a fancy symbol for jewelry, but that doesn't make sense with the other carvings.
People have called that since they've been coming here, because it kind of looks like a UFO.
It definitely has the classic UFO shape.
Now, for obvious reasons, ancient astronaut theorists believe this was definitely a UFO hinting at ancient alien existence. Or, this is another theory. The ancient people had already cracked the code for space travel all those years ago. The Wandjina. With aliens so far ahead of us in technology, it wouldn't be surprising to find out that they reached Earth thousands of years ago. In Kimberley, Australia, archaeologists have found caves that suggest exactly that. The walls are covered in paintings of bizarre creatures called the Wandjina, with big white faces and large black eyes. The entities unmistakably resemble alien greys. The indigenous people of Australia believe these figures descended from the skies to impart wisdom on the people who preserved their memory by painting them.
We all have stories of people in crafts coming from the stars, going to the stars, and so on. In order to keep them, pass them down to the next generation, we carved them, we painted them to guarantee that they pass down.
Whether you believe the story or not, these chilling lifelike depictions will certainly leave a mark on you.
In many ways, these Wandjina figures look exactly like gray aliens.
Rosetta Stone. In 1799, a seemingly ordinary stone found near the Egyptian town of Rosetta flipped the script on ancient history. At first glance, it's just a slab covered in faded symbols, but this artifact, dating back to 196 BC, was the ultimate decoder for Egyptian hieroglyphs. The Rosetta Stone features the same text written in 3 languages: hieroglyphs, Demotic, and Ancient Greek. Before this, hieroglyphs were like a dead language with no Rosetta Stone app to crack the code. This discovery changed everything, unlocking centuries of forgotten history. Now housed at the British Museum, it's not just a rock, it's the literal key that lets us talk to the ancient world. Some say its true secrets might still be waiting to be uncovered. Tanum rock art. The Tanum rock art in western Sweden is not only significant for its baffling age, which is around 3,000 years old, but alongside the drawings of ancient life with scenes of hunting, battles, and strange rituals, there's something that theorists find quite unusual. Take this bizarre, extremely long-armed individual. What could this mean? Well, mainstream theorists have chalked it off to a divine figure that is depicted to be looking after the world. But for fringe theorists, this is something more. They speculate that it could have been a shapeshifter or even an alien. Masuda no Iwafune.
I think I see it right in front of me. Wow.
Back in November 2017 in Osaka, Japan, a travel vlogger, while filming his trek, stumbled upon an otherworldly find. Among the dense forest lay a giant rock structure, 36 by 26 feet. The boulder is made of solid granite that stands 15 feet high and has 2 unusual holes carved into it. The mysterious rock is named Masuda no Iwafune, meaning the rock ship of Masuda. While its nature and origins are still unknown, some believe it's linked to a local legend of a lovely woman coming out of a spaceship. Could this have been carved to commemorate the myth? Some think it's much older, dating between 250 and 500 AD, suggesting it was the rotting hull of a spacecraft. Alien Jumanji. This artifact is like something straight out of a mystery novel. A board fitted with weird objects, an artifact that looked like a watch, 2 rings with mysterious letters etched into it, 2 donut-shaped objects, and even a detailed alien figurine. What if these pieces aren't just random? What if a specific combination of them unlocks a secret chamber hiding a cryptic message? Of course, if not that, then what could they be for? Some believe it might be an ancient game, perhaps something as thrilling and dangerous as Jumanji. Geoglyphs. Not far from the famous Nazca lines, there's another spot called Palpa Pampa, and it's got some even more mysterious geoglyphs. Discovered in the 90s by a Swiss researcher, these markings are scattered all over a plateau. You've got human-like figures with feathered crowns and battle helmets, but the real head-turner is this star-shaped design called a strela, along with a sundial-like pattern. Inside the sundial, there's a double helix, which could have been part of some ancient labyrinth, and nearby, some lines that might have been used to track time based on the sun. Who knows what these were really for? Alien statues. A strange discovery has surfaced from Mexico, and it's raising all kinds of questions. An amateur archaeologist claims to have found an eerie statue deep inside a remote cave. 2 alien figures, one perched on top of the other, with the other one sitting on its limbs in a posture similar to an animal. It's unsettling, to say the least. But here's the real twist. Have you ever wondered why we always picture aliens as the classic greys? What if that's just one species of many? Imagine if the most intelligent extraterrestrial race had already overpowered the less advanced ones. And now they're coming for us. That's a chilling thought, isn't it? But what if it's more than just speculation? Rewriting history. What if we're just repeating history? I know it sounds far-fetched, but stick with me here. Among one of the most mysterious hieroglyphics in ancient Egypt are the Abydos carvings, and for good reason. Take a look at them and tell me they don't look eerily familiar. That shape? It's practically a helicopter, and one of them even resembles a spaceship straight out of the Jetsons style. Creepy, right? Astronaut theorists are convinced we've got it all wrong about history. They argue that ancient people were way more advanced than we give them credit for, maybe even more advanced than us today. Who knows, one day we'll figure it out for good, but for now, it's all just a guessing game.
Over the side we're looking at right now is just the single.
Next on the list, we have the Dendera light, yet another mystery from ancient Egypt that'll really test your wits. Now, I bet you can make out what this looks like at first glance. Yes, a light bulb. And not just any light bulb, but one so massive it puts the 21st century to shame. Experts try to explain it away, saying it's just a lotus flower with a snake inside. But let's be real, there's also a line that looks suspiciously like a wire, and that explanation doesn't add up, unless we're thinking the unthinkable. What if the Egyptians had electricity all those centuries ago, and the secret was lost to time? Here's another secret lost to time: the Karnak Temple, dating all the way back to the 32nd century BC. Inside, you'll find its iconic obelisks, those tall, pointy pillars that seem to hold a mystery of their own. What's particularly fascinating is the carvings on each side of these obelisks. They're not just intricate, they're identical, perfectly precise, as if they'd been stamped in using the exact same mold. Experts argue that achieving this level of accuracy with the tools available back then would have been impossible, and that's where the theorists come in. Some believe aliens might have been behind it, sharing their advanced technology and knowledge with the ancient builders. And who knows, maybe these carvings are more than decorative. Could they be secret messages left for us to uncover? Colossal structures. The Abu Simbel Temple has long been at the heart of conspiracy theories, not just because of its colossal sculptures, towering at an incredible 64 feet, but due to a very curious phenomenon. Twice a year, in February and October, sunlight streams through the temple's entrance and directly illuminates the massive figures carved into the stone. Mainstream experts chalk it up to symbolic alignment, but some theorists beg to differ. They believe these two moments hold hidden significance, maybe even the key to unlocking a secret chamber concealed within the temple. Think about it, like the way folklore ties the full moon to werewolves. Could the sunlight alignment be the trigger for something far more mysterious? Rongorongo Tablet. The Rongorongo tablets are like one big mystery that no one's cracked yet. Found on Easter Island, these wooden slabs are covered in strange symbols, kind of like a mix of pictures and codes. What's wild is that these tablets are the only known writing system in the area, and nobody can read them. But some folks think they were used for rituals, or maybe kept track of family history. Others think they might be ancient sea maps, or even a guide for navigating the ocean. Then there's the theory that they're proof of visitors from some super advanced civilization, or maybe even aliens. It's also crazy to think the Rapa Nui people carved all this without metal tools. So maybe the alien theory is correct. Who knows? Giant weapon. Divers off Madagascar made a strange find when they came across a massive knife-shaped object sitting on the ocean floor. At first glance, it looks like something straight out of a prehistoric battle. If those divers are anything close to average size, that blade must be over 7 feet long. So naturally, the internet started buzzing with all kinds of theories. Some are suggesting it's a relic from a giant civilization, maybe something used by colossal humans, or even to take down creatures like the megalodon. But honestly, it's probably a lot less exciting. Theories like a prop from a movie set or a broken piece from an old ship or plane seem a lot more likely. Still, who knows? Maybe it's a clue from the past. Grotta dei Cervi. Grotta dei Cervi is a prehistoric cave near Porto Badisco, often called the Sistine Chapel of prehistory because of its amazing Neolithic paintings. Component placement discovered back in February 1970 by Salento archaeologists. It features 3 long connected corridors running underground. The cave holds around 3,000 ancient figures, dating back between 8,000 and 5,000 years ago. It's famous for its hunting scenes of deer and symbolic geometric designs that show the life and beliefs of early Salento people. To protect this delicate site, Grotta dei Cervi is closed to the public in efforts to preserve its prehistoric treasures. Roswell Rock. In September 2004, while tracking deer near the infamous Roswell crash site, a man stumbled upon something unusual, a triangular rock sticking out of the desert sand. Dubbed the Roswell Rock, the stone had a striking circular design protruding from its surface. And to make things even stranger, it exhibited magnetic properties. The symbols on the rock bore an uncanny resemblance to patterns found in an English crop circle years earlier. Coincidence? Maybe, but some believe these symbols could hold a message, possibly even a date for some future event. While skeptics are quick to call it a hoax, the rock's magnetic traits and its eerie connection to the crop circle leave others convinced that this might actually be a relic with extraterrestrial origins. Djed Pillar. The Djed Pillar, one of ancient Egypt's most enduring symbols, has always been linked to stability and regeneration. But here's where things get wild. A fringe theory claims it might actually represent ancient knowledge of electrical power. With its column-like shape and horizontal bars, some believe the Djed resembles early electrical transmission systems, leading to comparisons to Tesla's tech. Could the Egyptians have tapped into some advanced form of energy we can't even comprehend today? While mainstream scholars stick to its symbolic meaning, others argue the Djed might hold secrets of lost technologies, hidden just beneath the surface of its ancient design. North American aliens. The idea of extraterrestrial visitors isn't just a modern obsession, it might go way, way back. Some believe the proof of ancient alien contact is scattered across North America, hiding in plain sight. The Serpent Mound in Ohio, the Kivas of Chaco Canyon, and Wyoming's Bighorn Medicine Wheel. These mysterious sites seem to tell a story older than time itself. And then there are the petroglyphs. Etched into stone, these strange carvings show humanoid figures, spirals, and symbols that seem to point to the cosmos. glyphs. Indigenous legends speak of star beings descending to share wisdom with their ancestors. Whether you call it myth or memory, it's enough to make you wonder if these ancient marks were left by someone or something not of this world. Ellora Caves. A site in Ellora has over 30 cave temples that have been intricately carved out of solid rock into the side of a mountain, and this is the most stunning complex that is almost twice the size of the Parthenon in Athens. According to archaeologists, over the time of 18 years, the workers scooped out over 400,000 tons of rock, and if they worked 12 hours every day, they would still have to remove 5 tons of rock every hour, something that we can't even do with the advanced technology of today. Fringe scholars believe that locals might have a more compelling answer to this mystery. Beneath the complex are numerous caves, all leading to a super cave which contains energy machines and other ancient devices provided by the aliens. Malta Temple. Malta's megalithic temples, built between 3,600 and 2,500 BC, are one of history's big mysteries. Who built these massive structures? No one really knows. There are 0 records. But local legends, they've got a wild explanation. They say these temples were crafted by giants from outer space. According to the tales, a meteorite crashed to Earth and transformed into a giant goddess named Sansuna. She started building the temples at a spot called Gantija, using stones so huge they've stood the test of time. The mystery of this site remains unsolved, but it's a story that keeps us guessing. Mexican artifact. With all the bizarre artifacts we're uncovering lately, filled with cryptic symbols and mysterious letters, it might be time to establish a new field of study: alien hieroglyphs. Someone's got to start cracking these codes. Or what if it's too late and they're sending us a warning? Take this one for example. It was reportedly excavated from a site in Mexico, and soon locals flocked to the museum to take a closer look. The artifact shows what appears to be an alien sitting on a chair, surrounded by an unknown language. Could this be a message from an extraterrestrial ruler to their people? Secrets of Dog. These tiny figurines are known as Dog, and they hail from the islands of Japan, dating all the way back to 14,000 BC. Archaeologists have uncovered around 18,000 of them, all carved by ancient hunter-gatherers. What's most fascinating is that none of these figurines look remotely human, except for their bipedal stance. This has led many theorists to speculate that these could be depictions of astronauts who came into contact with these ancient people. They show figures in bulky suits, oversized helmets, goggles, and beings that resemble the iconic alien greys. So the big question is, where did this frame of reference come from? Let me know what you think in the comments. Alien board. Every time you think it couldn't get stranger, a new video pops up. An independent archaeologist looking for signs of alien life on Earth finally hit the jackpot, and this is the video he uploaded. It looked like a tablet that was a chamber as well. First, you can't ignore the carvings on it. They scream aliens. Opening it revealed a weapon-like object nestled inside with an extraterrestrial carved on it. It even had another eerie symbol carved into the back of the tablet, as if the whole thing was telling a story of its own. Now, it's anyone's guess what this actually was. Ancient weapons. These strange artifacts recently unearthed in Mexico have left experts baffled. They appear to be weapons, perhaps daggers, but it's the carvings that have everyone questioning their true origins. The tops of the handles, they look strikingly like alien heads, an eerie detail that's hard to ignore. Could these have been alien weapons left behind by extraterrestrials long ago? Or perhaps humans carved them as a way to remember the beings they once made contact with? The possibilities are endless. Mysterious door. A weird video making waves online has got people arguing about ancient aliens yet again. It shows what looks like an extraterrestrial figure rocking a strange mask and gripping a vault-like object. Theories are flying. Some say it's a coded doorway, maybe even a portal to something unimaginable. Of course, skeptics are rolling their eyes, calling it a modern-day hoax or some elaborate art project. Whether it's proof of ancient visitors or just another internet rabbit hole, it's got everyone hooked. Mexican statue. An excavation team in Mexico might have unearthed evidence of ancient alien life on Earth. A statue that looks freakishly like a modern alien, sporting a big elongated head and massive jet black eyes that seem way too lifelike. The bizarre figure remains a mystery. Some theorists think it's just an ancient artifact, maybe part of an alien-themed exhibit left behind by some long-forgotten civilization, but others are going a bit wild with the theory that this isn't just a statue at all, claiming it might be some kind of ancient tech or even a piece of machinery disguised as an alien. Mating ritual. In South Sulawesi, Indonesia, archaeologists just made an incredible find, the world's oldest cave painting. It shows 3 Sulawesi forest pigs, and experts think it's actually a depiction of a mating ritual. The artist used ochre, crushed into powder, to make the paint. The stunning painting is a staggering 45,500 years old, making it the earliest known animal artwork by humans. That's some serious ancient history right there. Millennia-old petroglyph. Have you heard about the oldest petroglyphs in North America in Winnemucca Lake? If not, you're missing out on one of the most baffling conspiracy theories out there. So not only are these carvings tens of thousands of years old, but they've got something pretty weird going on with them. Some of them unmistakably resemble outer space, particularly the spirals that have left the experts puzzled, while fringe theorists are convinced they're evidence of ancient contact with extraterrestrials. I mean, they do look a lot like galaxies, don't they? What do you think? Advanced civilizations. This is going to be a real shocker for those of you who believe ancient civilizations like the Mayan people were old school. I mean, just take a look at this piece of art. This is the lid of Lord Pakal's coffin found in the ancient city of Palenque. And if anything, the thing that guy seems to be riding looks way more advanced than any motorcycle you might have ever seen. There's this weird seat, toggles, and controls. Something you'd only expect in vehicles, and even an exhaust that blows out smoke. Now, this has got many believing that Lord Pakal could have been more than just a ruler. The leading theory is that he was a time traveler, and what we're seeing is the Mayans' way of immortalizing his high-tech vehicle. Let's be real, imagining something like this without first-hand experience seems like a stretch, right? Here's another Mayan puzzle for you. And this one's got ancient astronaut theorists buzzing. Now, I get it. It might sound like they're stretching things a bit thin, but hear me out. They believe the flying dragon in the ancient story of Kukulkan, found in the Maya codices, could actually be a flying craft. Okay, but let's not dismiss this outright, because it does raise some good points. The theory suggests that since Kukulkan was often depicted as a serpent with a human head, this might mean the serpent was actually an extraterrestrial craft piloted by a humanoid alien. Think about it, like, if the Maya people encountered advanced technology beyond their comprehension, how else would they describe it?
20 seconds and counting.
And maybe those ancient astronaut theorists are onto something after all. How else do you explain this artifact? A worker at an excavation site stumbled upon a figurine buried in the dirt. At first glance, it might seem like just another relic, but then, deja vu, anyone? Yep, it's a tiny astronaut, or at least that's what it looks like, but it's got a reptilian head with its mouth wide open, and inside, a human face staring back at you. Now, I know it sounds wild, but hear me out. What if these ancient people actually encountered an astronaut, someone who somehow traveled back in time? And because this was so utterly alien to them, they interpreted him as a monstrous otherworldly being.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5.
Egg-shaped artifact. What if I told you an Egyptian man claims he unearthed something unbelievable in his backyard? An egg-shaped stone with bizarre, almost otherworldly powers. Sounds wild, right? But the evidence he shared had people talking. This mysterious stone reportedly caused electrical appliances to shut down, wouldn't reflect in mirrors, and somehow boiled water inside a jug. Creepy enough? Well, it gets weirder. Not long after posting a video of his discovery, the man vanished without a trace. Now, theories are flying. Some say the government's behind his disappearance, trying to bury the truth. Others think it's something far beyond our understanding. Whatever the case, this strange tale leaves us with more questions than answers. Jade's skull. Sometimes you venture too deep into the woods and stumble across a really weird artifact. Unlikely, right? But that's exactly what happened to one adventurer. He found a large alien skull made out of what looked like jade, with carvings all around it. The center of the skull artifact around the forehead was what looked like a trigger button of some kind. What would happen if you pressed it? I hope the man didn't act on this impulse. Who knows? He might even get kidnapped by aliens if that button sent out some kind of signal to them. Underwater monuments. Our oceans are hiding far more than just curious sea life. Just recently, archaeologists released shocking GoPro footage that's got everyone questioning what's been lurking beneath the waves. They stumbled upon giant statues of terrifying creatures, along with drawings that had somehow survived underwater for who knows how long. These images seem to depict aquatic beings, hinting at a mystery no one could have predicted. So what does this all mean? Could it be evidence of an ancient humanoid aquatic race? If the footage is to be believed, we might just be scratching the surface of a history we never knew existed. Tassili Najer. Okay, this one is for the books. Can you imagine the Sahara Desert, one of the hottest places on the planet, once teeming with wildlife? Hard to believe, right? But it seems like it's true according to the cave art of Tassili Najer that dates back to 8000 BC. They have all kinds of wildlife, giraffes, antelopes, but that doesn't even begin to cover the craziness, as there are drawings of figures that look like astronauts right beside the animals. So here's the conspiracy theory. Otherworldly beings foresaw the climate change that would transform the region into a desert, help the people out into a fertile land. Now, what's your take on this? Witch Cave. Have you ever wondered if witches were more than just folklore? Well, inside the Creswell Crags caves, something's making people question that very idea. What started as just another set of ancient carvings on the cave walls has turned into a full-blown mystery. These marks, which were once dismissed as graffiti, have turned out to be anti-witch symbols. Yeah, you read that, right? And it gets weirder. These aren't just random doodles. They're full of old Latin inscriptions, packed so tightly together that they almost seem like a desperate plea.
Local villagers believe, particularly in times of poor harvest or disease, that the evil spirits would rise out of these depths, and the purpose of the marks was to trap them, preventing them from escaping into the outside world.
Experts think they were carved to fend off witches, evil spirits, and demons of all kinds. If witches were an actual thing or just superstition, remains a mystery. Peruvian aliens. Aliens in Peru? Sure, we've all heard those stories, but an underground alien art gallery, that takes it to another level. Deep in the Andes, workers broke into a hidden cave system with a sealed entrance. What they found inside was wild, twisting tunnels that led to sculptures of otherworldly figures and strange symbols carved into the stone walls. An ancient book was discovered as well, packed with eerie drawings and a language that no one has managed to decode. Some are convinced this is a smoking gun for alien visitation, while skeptics argue it could just be an ancient artist's imaginative masterpiece. Whatever it is, it's left everyone scratching their heads. Stone Pillar. In 2010, a team of archaeologists made a fascinating discovery amid the ruins of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a strange stone pillar unlike anything they had seen before. This ancient totem pole, estimated to be 10,000 years old, was later showcased in a museum drawing experts from across the globe. The pole is carved with 3 distinct figures stacked on top of each other. The first, though partially damaged, is believed to depict a non-human entity due to its unusual ears. The second has more human-like features, thought to represent an early form of humanity. The last figure resembles a human infant. Some experts speculate this pole could symbolize the true origins of humanity, suggesting we might have extraterrestrial roots. Mayan artifacts. Archaeologists might have uncovered shocking evidence of ancient aliens. According to a video circulating online, the clip featured a collection of the most bizarre-looking artifacts recovered from a Mayan site. There were all kinds of figurines, humanoid figures with helmets, animal humanoids, and aliens' greys, all elaborately crafted. You might say it was all from imagination, but many agreed by the detailed features of the carved figures that the Mayans might have actually come into contact with aliens, and maybe even interacted with astronauts, suggesting they had somehow traveled to the future. But what do you think? Open discussion. While exploring some ancient tombs in Egypt, a couple of tourists got way more than they bargained for. As they were shining their flashlight over a wall of hieroglyphs, everything seemed normal, until the beam hit a spot and suddenly, the wall glowed with a strange blue light. Now, some are freaking out, thinking they found a hidden portal, maybe even a secret passageway to something buried deep. Others say it's just a government cover-up, hiding something bigger. But then there's the skeptic crew, suggesting it's just the way the light hits the stones. Still, it's enough to make you wonder. With all the strange discoveries happening lately, one question remains. Are we just scratching the surface of something much deeper, or is it all just one big coincidence? Let me know what you think in the comments.